Lately I'm bugging, I feel it inside. I'm ducking your energy, living inspired. I'm centerfold, still I'm never folding, even if.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Backstage with BU. Today in the show we have Nrthview, an up-and-coming artist out of LA. Nrthview, how we doing today, man?
Good, bro. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me, dog.
Hey, of course, man. We're excited to have you on the show today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Hell yeah. So Nrthview, can you start off by telling us how you got your start in music?
So my start in music primarily came from, just like, just loving writing. I write a lot, not just, raps, but like short stories, or try to write inspirational things. Always trying to scan my brain and just trying to, I guess, use words as a way to express how I'm feeling and stuff like that. But like it all really started in elementary school. I was always a fan of like writing short stories and poems and stuff like that. But then I was inspired by like, Usher and Lil Bow Wow and stuff. I looked up to those guys growing up. So like I wanted to kind of be like that. I would always walk around with 8701 Usher album, like sing the songs and shit.
That's lit.
I was always watching like Bow Wow videos and stuff like that. Like he was a big inspiration too. But so through them, it kind of sparked something else, and I started getting deeper into like more hip hop stuff. Like in middle school,
Right.
And middle school was when I really started rapping, trying to rap and stuff like that. But those two artists like kind of made me go deeper. Started listening to Lil Wayne, Tupac, Biggie, and things like that. And then high school is when I really started recording myself and stuff like that. I actually started recording with Frankie in high school in his truck.
Damn.
Free weather. So like that was kind of how it started. And then we here now.
Exactly. And hey, leading off that, who would you say your biggest musical influences are? Because I definitely see some old-time hip-hop, soul artists, all that shit.
Yeah. So because like I was a big R&B fan, bro. I wanted to be a singer. I didn't even really care too much for the rapping stuff. I really wanted to sing. So my biggest influence by far is probably Usher. He's played like the biggest role. Like if it wasn't for me walking around with Usher's CD, like I probably wouldn't be able to sing, if I'm being honest with you, because like the only reason why I just kept singing like everywhere I go. So even just, and they say like practice makes perfect or whatever.
Right.
So just me consistently doing that like just got me better at singing. So
Exactly.
they like Usher is definitely like my biggest like inspiration.
Damn, that's crazy. Usher, if you ever see this, definitely check out Nrthview. That's insane.
Yeah.
What does your creative process look like when you start to make music?
Honestly, it's really random. So sometimes it takes me a while to get into it, but a lot of times, like what helps like spark a lot of the ideas that I do have, like I'll first write like a whole verse, and then based off of that verse, it will give me like as I'm writing it, it'll give me ideas of how I could switch it into like a chord, right? So then I'll start singing some random melodies and stuff like that, and then I'll try to put words to them. But a lot of times, like I look on YouTube for inspiration. I look for like different people that are like doing something different with their voice, or like if they found like an interesting flow that like just inspires me to like kind of like experiment a little bit more.
Right.
Kind of the stuff that like really sparks the creative process for me as far as creating music goes. And sometimes I'll even like play, or I'll just even play around in Fruity Loops and mess around with like melodies on the keys and stuff like that, and see if I can even come up with something that way. It's really random. Like it changes like all the time.
Right. So you would say that like studying old hip hop and R&B has helped like influence like the way you write your music and whatnot.
Yeah, of course. Like
Yeah.
you know, go back to listening to like Snoop Dogg, or you like even like sometimes I'll go back and listen to like an old Tupac record,
Right.
and I'll just be inspired by you know a Tupac record. Like one of my favorite Tupac records is Dear Mama. That song
Yeah.
inspired like a song that I released like years ago, like when I was going by a different name, but I was going by Brian Taylor at the time. But that song inspired me to write a song that I released like a while back. It's called Mama's Word.
Damn.
That was by like Tupac's Dear Mama.
Is that out right now anywhere? Mama's Word?
Yeah. It's on SoundCloud. If you type in Nrthview on SoundCloud, in the description there's another link that leads to my old music.
Oh, bet. All right, I'm definitely gonna check that out. And
Yeah.
speaking of Tupac, if you could have any artist, if you could record with any artist, dead or alive, who do you think it would be?
Damn, that's a good ass question, bro.
It's a tough question.
Ass question.
Yeah. You could, if you want to do it, you could choose a couple. Let's do like 3,
Okay, 3.
cause one's tough.
Usher is definitely gonna be one. To this day, he's still one. I mean, of course, he's still alive, so I would
Yeah.
love to get him. Of course, Pac. Pac was like a big influence, and I love his poetry. And
R.I.P.
if I'm being honest, like the other person, J. Cole.
J. Cole, there we go.
And I'm tripping. Yeah, that one took me a while, but I was looking thinking like, damn, like it was between like for me it was like low key between like J. Cole and 50 Cent, just because
Right.
50 Cent hard, bro. Like 50 Cent was crazy.
Yeah, facts. I definitely see some J. Cole influence in you too, like the way you write your music and like how you can like tell a story and narrate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. J. Cole is definitely up there with one of the most top influential people.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, Nrthview, not only are you an artist, but you're also an entrepreneur. Can you tell us, what you got going on with your company, Pyre, and the blog series there, Nrthview? I checked it out earlier and it looks super clean.
Yeah, thanks, bro. So Pyre pretty much is a creative direction company, but also like we're trying to do like video production, stuff like that. But right now, what we've been working on is They're Not a Threat interview series where we interview young African Americans that have grown up in America and try to get their experiences and kind of tell the story of what their experience was growing up black in America. And basically the idea is not necessarily, the idea is to really just try to figure out or find common ground between all races. So eventually we will do a series, They Are Not a Threat, where we interview Hispanics or we do Asian American or we interview, I'm sorry if I'm missing any races, but like
all the above.
all of the above,
Right.
and just so that we could understand everybody's background. Maybe like we could try to develop a common ground so there's not oh well you did this to me, oh well you did this. Nah, it's not about that. It's just about understanding everybody's background and understanding where everybody's hurt or pain comes from, so that we don't continue to do the same thing to hurt and cause pain to each other. So
Right.
that's the whole idea behind They Are Not. But other than that, I mean, Pyre we do photography, we do videography, we're trying to get more into, we want to eventually be able to do like short films and be able to write films and all of that stuff. So like, we're working on it, but right now we're starting small. We're starting with the blog just to get a little bit more engagement on our side, and then hopefully we can keep working on other stuff as well.
Right, that's awesome, man. And so for those short films, do you guys have any like ideas of what you're going to be doing for them yet? Is it going to be like the viewpoint of growing up black in America and stuff like that?
Yeah, so that was in the talks. Like, we were trying to figure out what the best way to capture that for an audience, for somebody looking outside in, trying to figure out the best way to capture that experience. I mean, it's kind of difficult to like really, I guess, to really bring to life, but like, I mean, it's possible. So that was definitely one of the ideas that we had. So I mean, just stay tuned. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, man, that'd be awesome, man. Like, with everything going on in the country right now, this is probably the best time for you to be doing this, educating people. And you know, we're all in this shit together, so like, why not get along? You know? So diving into your music, you just dropped a crazy EP called Doubt. It's insane. Been listening to it the past couple of days. My favorite song on it's I'm Too Drunk to Title This. What would you say your favorite songs on it?
My favorite song on there is probably either I'm Too Drunk to Title This or probably 9.
Yeah, 9's crazy.
Yeah. So those are probably my two favorite as well. And Too Drunk to Title This, the reason why I like that song so much is because like it's such like the way that it was written is like so vivid, where it's like there's no like it's almost like you pick up on what I'm talking about like right away. You know what I mean? Especially after you listen to the verse, like you completely understand. It's literally about like the pressure of like trying to drink alcohol or to feel like you're fitting in with people, but like necessarily you don't really need that because you're already surrounded by good energy just being with your friends and shit.
Exactly.
All to heighten that experience, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much what the song is about. And 9, I mean, is just like strong altogether just because it's talking about the concept of, you know, feeling the need to carry a weapon on you because of, you know, police, you know, killing us while we're unarmed.
Right.
And 2, because, you know, now you got people disappearing. You know, you got black kids being lynched out of nowhere. You got black kids being found by rivers, like out of nowhere. And it's just like, well, now I feel more forced to find my protection and carry a 9mm or a 40 on me because of all of those things that are going on. Like I feel that more now than I've ever had. Like I've never felt the need to really carry a gun on me at all. I've never had any type of like beef that was that serious to where I felt like I have. But like now more than ever, I feel like I need to have a weapon, and I do feel like all black men and women need to be, you know, arming themselves to protect themselves because you never know that person could be living right down the street from you. You know what I mean? And that motherfucker could have been could be stalking, waiting for the right moment to snatch you up.
Right. Yeah.
You never know when it's gonna happen. So I mean, now more than ever. I mean, if there's a time to definitely arm yourself, it's definitely now because it's going down in our country right now.
Yeah, shit's crazy. Yeah, and alluding to what you just said, like all these songs, there's so much beneath the surface that went into it, and all the tracks are just like beautifully laid out from the beginning. It was like a voicemail in like a prison or something like that, like all the way to the end with like the piano. Like, dude, it's just crazy. Like, where did this inspiration come to make this EP?
So, like, I mean, every time like I go into making like a new project, like I try to develop like the best way to, I guess, bring concept together. And a lot of times, like I'll record the songs and I'll see like what emotions get brought up when I listen back to like songs. So a lot of time, like with a lot of songs that were on there, like they brought like certain emotions, like, and why I called it Doubt was because like a lot of those things, like a lot of those songs, like brought a doubtful like emotion to me. So it was like okay, like my brother and being in jail, like damn, like I'm doubting myself now, like will I be able to help him out when he gets out? Like you know, my mom constantly telling him to pray pray, you know what I mean? But then, dang, like, well, when I pray, like, sometimes, like, it doesn't, like, nothing really changes or anything. It's doubt, you know what I mean? Like, you know, but then you have, like, some of the other emotions where, like, you know, when we're talking about guests, where I'm like, damn, like, maybe these blessings that I'm looking for are all around me the whole time. You know what I mean? Like, my girlfriend has been one of the biggest blessings in my life since, like, I met her. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's kind of what that song is about. It's like, damn, I've doubted so much. I've doubted my life so much. I've doubted myself so much that I finally feel like I found something that didn't feed that emotion. You know, it gave me a break from that emotion almost, you know?
Right, exactly.
But like, even like with all the other songs, like if you listening to them, you know, it just brings like out. But of course, you still have to have like a confident one in there. So I threw the folks record in there, and that was kind of that one that was like, yo, like, don't fuck with my family or friends or whatever, like that. I was just talking about.
That's where that 50 Cent Pop Smoke inspiration comes in right there in that track.
You know, the aggressiveness.
Yeah, exactly. Hell yeah, man, I love it. You know, you put so much energy and thought into this project and behind every track. And I think that's what separates you from a lot of other artists in the game right now. So kudos to you for that, man. It's crazy. And the last question I have for you is, what advice would you give to young artists just getting in the game, trying to get their foot in the door?
Honestly, bro, I mean, I need to be one that follows this, bro. Like, don't worry about what anybody is saying about you. Make the shit that you like to make, bro, because at the end of the day, it's that shit that's gonna get you put on. It's not what people want to hear from you. It's not what anybody, like, your art is your art, bro. And at the end of the day, art is our own perspective, bro. So, like, nobody else's opinion matters. Nobody can tell you that what you made is wrong or right. Like, nobody can tell you that. Your art is like, so just work on yourself, work on your art, and just try to outdo your past self. If you are not constantly trying to outdo your past self, you're not elevating, you're not getting any better. So always just try to outdo your past self so that people see the growth and people see the potential as time goes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more. You know, staying true to yourself as an artist and working hard is probably the most important thing to do. So definitely great advice. Nrthview, we want to appreciate you for your time, man. Great interview. If you guys haven't heard the EP yet, Doubt, we're going to link it right below. Check it out. It's absolutely insane. And thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Brody. Have a good day.
For sure, bro. I'll catch you.
Racing. Believing this shit in the past just isn't a vibe. Moving beyond it, I do it for fam and my nieces.